back into it. Yes, another stag party, surprisingly. A couple of American lads. I think they're marrying Kiwi lass. She's not here though. Thank goodness. The boys have got fly rods. It's good to see some lads with fly rods. Usually we just bring spin rods up and bang them out, but river's been in flood the last couple of days. It's just dropping now. We've had about 3 or 4 days of rain up here since we were last in here.
To the outside world.
This is the team. That's Alex, and then moving around to Landon, and then we've got Dan the man, Coulton, that's Benjamin, and Llewellyn. I always thought his name was Llewellyn for years because that's how it's written down. And then he corrected me. Where was it? Turkey or somewhere? Where were we?
Yeah, maybe Turkey.
I can't even remember. Somewhere on the other side of the world in Europe. I ran into him in the airport. I was with Llewellyn. And then I forgot your name. It's Llewellyn. All right. But yeah, that was random, running into him in blimmin' Turkey. Maybe it was Russia. I can't bloody remember. Somewhere over there, anyway.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Here we are. There's a lot of water in the river. A lot of water. It's going to be really hard to see the fish for the fly fishermen. Spin fishers aren't going to have a problem, but yeah, it's going to be challenging fly fishing. See if we can spot one. It's bloody hard to see them. There's a ripple on the water and it's quite green. They're in there though. We'll find one. We spied one, pretty hard to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see him in the camera, but he's sitting just off a rock down there. Not very big, about 3.5, 4 pound. He's cruising around, quite actively feeding. He's nymphing, not taking off the surface. So Coulton's gone up, he's just going to drift the nymph down. Really hard to put the line on because there's nowhere to really present a fly from here. So Coulton's had to go upstream. He's going to have to drift the fly down towards him. So we'll see if he nails him. I can't see him anymore. He might have spooked with the indicator drifting over the top of him. Pretty challenging fishing today. We'll go find another one. Jeez, it's noisy in here. Oh, there's cicadas. I've got to boost back to camp, put bloody dinner on. Because I'm the cook tonight. Leave the boys here and then we're going to sneak down, go for deer hunt tonight. I haven't seen any more fish. Really hard to see, big water. A lot of water in the river at the moment. It's quite discoloured, but maybe tomorrow morning we can poke our noses out and have a whack. A bit death on it.
Me here of the story there. All right. The whole goddamn chicken. No.
The pressure is on tonight because I've actually got 2 chefs who are eating the dinner. I just chucked everything in a pot and boiled the shit out of it and then mixed it all up. It should be pretty good to go though. Oh, you're ruining it with the chili sauce.
I just have never had chili sauce.
What the hell?
You're not eating that.
Alright, what's the verdict, Coulton?
Oh, I'll give. It's pretty good, eh?
Give the thumb and the pinky finger.
Yeah.
Where's the other chefs? Just had a little taste there. What do you reckon?
Bro, it's fucking mean, mate.
mean as.
Mean Kai, bro.
I forgot lunch. I left a bucket at home with lunch and some other important bits and pieces, and it might be survival. Oh, it's all right. I've got some stuff for steak sandwiches. We didn't have the bread rolls that were meant to go at dinner tonight. We're going to hang on to those. So as long as these guys shoot a deer, they're shit fishermen. They didn't catch any fish. I even seen one. And I said, "There it is, right there."
Caught a bush.
Oh, you caught a bush. So you can eat a few bushes out here. So hopefully tonight we'll smack a deer or 2 over, and then we can have some delicious heart sandwiches for lunch. It was pretty hard to see the fish, fair call. It was pretty flooded out there.
Get their heads out of their asses.
Just waiting to go hunting again. patiently waiting.
What time is it?
These fellas don't actually watch my videos. Coulton has no idea he's going to get branded tonight.
You said you had no idea I was going to get branded.
I don't know if you guys caught that. No rapage, just branding. I don't think we've actually got wire for a branding, so we might get off. He might get off with no branding. He might get. I don't know.
Branded.
So you've been to New Zealand a few times and still haven't shot a deer.
I haven't even seen a deer yet. I don't even believe they exist down here.
See in there, mate. Helicopter. Off. Shit, we just picked up 2 deer on the bush edge. Then bloody James Scott machine came flying over with a couple of deer hanging off it. And they saw the machine fly over right over the top of him. And they nipped back in the bush. It's getting pretty dark, they might come back out again. The machine flew right over the top of them. Bugger. Coulton just let one slip. The 2 that we saw in the helicopter come over, slipped him back in the bush, and another one poked his nose out. Boom! I was watching it through the binos, but the gunshot scared the shit out of me, and I went like that. I couldn't see whether he hit it or not. There was a real inaudible whack, but there wasn't like a whack or a thump or anything, so I don't know. I don't know if that was a bullet smacking into the trees behind, or if he got it or not. There's a big wide deep rivet across between here and there, so I don't know. If we swim across now and check, then we kind of ruin it for the morning, but if we don't go across now, we can come back in the morning and have a look. We're going to cruise back to camp, and then we'll come back in the morning and see if we can shoot one then.
Have you ever tried pushing rope? Doesn't really work.
No, it doesn't really work, does it?
No, sure don't.
Well, the boys slept in today. I got up at 4:30, got the fire going, put coffee on. You know, I want to go for a hunt. There's a couple of groans and some movement in the tents, and I had 1 cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee. It started to get light. I thought, bug it, I'm going for a hunt. So I did. I snuck in their clearing, so I didn't get time to get the camera out. This yearling just popped its head out, and another one popped its head out, and then one started running, and then that one started bloody running, and I shot it. So, yes, want another dead deer on camera. I'll bloody get a camera one of these days, and you guys will actually see the deer falling over. Alright, I'm going to gut it, drag it back to camp, and then bugger off. Yes, boys might go for a fish today. It's raining, light drizzle this morning. That was some shitty shooting. Shot it right in the arse. Actually, it was pretty good shooting because it was running away. There was some shitty stalking. Instead of just sitting and waiting for one to put his head up, I kept moving, and of course they were heads down feeding. And then the next minute, one bloody stuck his head up and busted me right out in the middle. Didn't even have a rest. And then it was a bit of a Mexican stare off, and I had her in my sights, but I could only see her head and neck. And I waited and she waited, and then bloody she took off running, and Shot it right in the arse. Which the boys aren't going to be too happy. I got you some meat, boys, but I ruined most of it because, yeah. Oh well. Coffee, whitebait pie, rafting. Oh, I might go fishing too. See what the boys feel like doing. They might be a bit hungover actually. None of them managed to get up this morning anyway if I shoot. Llewellyn's caught the log and he's paddled all the way out in the raft to get my spinner back. What a good bastard.
I take the brakes off.
Oh, he's coming towards you, just right in front of the rock, bro. See him? Perfect. Yep. Bring it in. I don't know if you fellas could see that because of the ripple on the water, but there was quite a good sized fish just right behind it. And he'd come it, and he'd go, and he'd come, and then he'd go, and then he'd come, and then he'd go, and he'd come right into Ben's feet. And then bloody didn't eat it. How frustrating. Say, there's a duckling. Oh, he's meant to go, there's a duckling and point, but he said there's a duckling over there and you couldn't hear him, so I'm just going to say, there's a duckling. And then I caught it, here it is. Duckling.
I take the brakes off.
Holy crap, what a long day. Long day. Up at 4 in the morning, I'm almost home. I'm rooted, I'm absolutely rooted. I even stopped for a nap, stopped for a bit of a nap, and I'm still rooted as, bro. Holy moly, I think I'm just gonna go home and go straight to bed. It's been a very long day. What is it, 7:30? Holy shit. Whew. Good day, long day, but a good day. What's up, dogs? Come on then. Come on. Stay outside, you mongrels. Hello, anyone here? Hey mate, look what I found for you.
Dad, was it abandoned?
Yeah, it's abandoned.
Abandoned, duck? Can I see Jack? We could go fertilize some watermelons. Did you talk about the tomato fertilizing?
Hello, chicken.
That's Gimpy.
Hello, Gimpy.
That's Gimli.
Oh, Gimli, not Gimpy.
I mean Gimli.
I'm rolling. What?
Well, have you talked about the tomato?
You got to talk to no.
Did you show everybody the tip of the fertilizing tomatoes?
Show us again.
Okay. So my mum taught us this awesome little trick. Works really well for when you got indoor tomatoes and you break off a clump of flowers, which is kind of sad, and you just brush it on all the little blossoms, pull off laterals.
Aren't you best to just brush them together instead of actually breaking them off?
No, it's just so much faster.
Because then you lose, that could be tomatoes.
I know, it is kind of sad, but it's way easier. And then you're not going to break the tomatoes.
Aren't you cross-pollinating the species too?
I don't think so, because they all look fine.
Sure you are.
I don't know.
I reckon you're best to make the tomatoes with the tomatoes instead of breaking them off, because that one in your hand's going to lose all its pollen.
Because you'd have to bend this all the way down to there, and then the stem would break.
But isn't that one going to lose its pollen after the first brushes, or not?
It doesn't seem to, because look how many tomatoes we have. We have like 100% strike rate in here.
Not up here. These don't have any.
They're flowers.
Oh. And what have we got in here? Give us a rundown.
Okay, we've got
basil. We'll just got to start off. So.
Okay, so in here we're growing lemongrass, little mini lunch. These are perfect for lunches. You can just chuck whole capsicums in lunches. And look at big yellow chilies. I don't know how spicy these are. Do you?
Are they new ones?
Yeah. We over all these, well no they're not, because all these plants we actually, well that just broke off.
Mom, the sheep's chasing the chickens because it's lonely.
Oh,
and it's mang to them.
Why is the sheep lonely?
Because the other one died.
The other sheep got fly strike. It was not nice. Oh, the corn's coming along nicely. What's that stuff?
This is maggoty wool. I'm gonna go mulch the fruit trees with it. And here, this is where there once was an avocado tree that I killed. It died.
Kristen over fertilised all of our fruit trees and she killed some of them.
No, just the avocado trees.
No, and the pear tree as well.
No.
It's dead as, bro.
Oh yeah, that one too, yeah. So this is a mandarin tree.
What?
This is a mandarin tree.
Whack it around the tree. Ah! New plums from our new plum tree. It's got some kind of scabby disease on it, but I'm gonna eat it anyway. Oh. What next?
Gonna fertilize some watermelons.
What?
I'm trying, but you're like looking at me over here.
Go, just say. What are we doing now? Well,
I just like it. I'm gonna fertilize these watermelons. I'm gonna fertilize these watermelons.
No, Dad. Get the flour and then use the...
These jalapenos, all of the peppers that we have in chilies, actually, we overwintered them, so pruned back to nothing at the end of fall. And then they've all grown up massive.
they're good, eh? Look how big they are.
Okay. Now, here is... Yeah? I don't know why that one's died. It just shriveled up.
Just leave it, Jack. Don't snap the plant off, eh,
on watermelon vines, you have these male flowers. Then these ones with a bulb, those are females. So you gotta, when you don't have bees around, you gotta fertilize them. So I'm just going around, taking a male, and following these vines. Looking at, look, there's actually quite a few in here.
We should get some more big flat rocks to put them on.
Running. Okay, so well that one's done actually, but oh, here's one. Okay, so there's a female, and then I'm just gonna, hey guys.
The watermelons are having sex, Jack. What the heck? That's weird, eh?
Yeah, because the plant's really healthy. So, oh yeah, and I also do that with these eggplants. I just did it, so I'm not going to do it again because there's not very many flowers. Break off a flower and then just touch them to each other so the pollen touches. Because last year we weren't getting any eggplants, and I couldn't figure out why. And that's why. Oh, here it is.
my garden.
What's that?
This is my garden.
Oh, you're growing some nice oxalis there, Charlie. Yum. And some lupins.
Oxalis is really yummy, actually. I'd really like to tidy it up first.
Before you show people. No,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's good.
It's really messy.
Is this lettuce?
That's puha, bro.
Puha.
We should have a boil up.
You can eat puha, though. There's some thyme here. Oh, here's the shallots squished by this calendula.
Yeah, pull that calendula out. Poor bloody things.
Let's just break them up and replant them.
Now.
Yeah, look, just like this.
All right.
No, Dad, look. Ah, Dad.
What you got?
Potato.
Are you harvesting that?
Yeah, I just got a pile of them over here.
Yay!
That's okay. We can move them onto the porch. No, does it? Oh, it does smell. It's quite cool.
Smell good? Have another smell?
Yeah. Kinda. So pretty. Hey, there's white stuff in here too. White ones. I didn't know it came in white.
White echinacea.
Yeah.
And how do you harvest that, dear?
I don't know yet. I don't figure it out. Maybe tea or I don't know. I'll have to Google it. These giant things
Sunflowers.
hiding all the sun on the corn. But here's a good thing to do with corn if it's not very windy. You take the top and you just go like this, because every single flaky thing off here pollinates one kernel on the cob. So you got to get all the crap off it. Otherwise, you will have empty cobs.
Plums are all finished. Man, they come and go so quick. 2 weeks of plums and then that's it. We have plums coming out of our ears and then they're all gone. Although the yellow plum should be coming on now. I might go check the yellow plum tree.
Did you get the mummy chicken and her baby?
Whoa.
Your dad.
Cheers,
They
mate.
smell yum. Smell them.
Do you want me to organize a time?
For the sheep? Yes, sheep. Yes, organise the time. I'm going to pick up another sheep. 1 sheep or 2 sheep?
2 sheep.
What? We don't have enough grass for 3 sheep?
No, well, as soon as the grass is down,
We'll eat
just
one.
eat 2 and get 1 pregnant.
Delicious sheep. Oh, the duck died. It overheated, I think. We put it in with the chickens and the chicken raising thing, and I think it just got too hot because the chickens scratched all the sawdust into the water and it didn't have enough to drink. And then the next day we gave it some water and it perked up, and then it had some kind of fit like our last duck. It was very sad. Yes, I was really hoping to be able to raise that till it was big and we could bring it rafting with us, but didn't make it. No.
That's a giant zucchini. Oh, I'll find one too.
You catch a chicken?
No. Little mom will pet me.
She'll like bite your arm off.
There's ice cream.
A piece with I think it's serp and greenstone. Not totally greenstone.
For sure
I'll
it's
try
greenstone.
polishing
Look at
it.
it. That's greenstone for sure.
Did you show my big piece that I found at Serpentine?
No, go grab it.
Mom! Mom!
I found, look at that. Up at Serpentine Beach. Just laying there. These are a big whole bunch. Ah! Oh no!
You drop it under the deck.
Oh, I can see it.
You're gonna have to go under with the spiders now.
No, I just put a piece of blue tack.
Get another handful of it.
I've been having pretty good luck lately. This is that one you found. I polished the white off. It's quite pretty, hey? On that cool one.
No fish today, no one's caught anything. 20 casts later.
Any of these guys get anything?
No, I didn't catch anything. You get any strikes?
No, but the guy out there knows your YouTube channel and he caught a trout.
Today?
Yeah.
Mean. What are these, Charlie? Give us an introduction, mate. What's going on?
These are the Carway spot prizes.
All of these? A boat, look, there's a boat. You could win a boat with an electric motor and a transom, so you can actually put a proper outboard on there as well as this electric one. But these electric ones are pretty good. 19th of January, next weekend's the Carway competition, right here at Hokitika. Got to be. Is it Greymouth as well?
Whole coast.
Oh, it's the whole west coast. Where's the prize giving's here though? Is it?
Oh, it's at Canary Hotel.
Canary Hotel at.
5 o'clock.
I'm just repeating because I don't know if it's going to make it all the way over here. 5 o'clock, Canary Hotel, prize giving for the Carway comp.
Been going on?
Just, you know, fishing. We're just driving to pick up some sheep, and then we ran into Frank with his car stopped at the roundabout, so we pushed it off the roundabout, and he's got no clutch, and it's his slave cylinder. His slave cylinder's leaking, so it's the main seal in the slave cylinder. Pretty easy fix, but he won't be able to fix it till tomorrow when the automotive wreckers get back, so we're just giving him John Gibbs' number. I'll give him a hand to get to his accommodation, wherever that may be, and then yeah, we can sort it out in the morning.
Yeah. That's what you told me, Dad, don't you?
Yeah, give it a wet blade of grass. Is it going? Doesn't always work that test though, does it, Frank?
No. Especially if there's a bit of space between the times. You know?
Sorry, Greg, wasn't it?
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, Greg, that's right. I just met a Frank.
Yeah.
Frank was the Dutch guy whose car had broken down, so I just called Greg Frank because I still had Frank on the brain, wondering how him and his family are getting on. Oh. Hopefully we'll sort that out. Anyway, there's our bloody sheep. We're going to chuck 2 of them in the back of the uterus and drive home. Hey ladies. You might come grab the big one, Char. You can do it.
I'll video you.
Grab her and roll her onto her back. Go, see if you can do it. No?
Might be a bit heavy for him, mate.
Come on, mate, get in there and wrestle that sheep. Oh, Charlie, he's not keen to wrestle the sheep. Me and Greg have wrestled a few sheep in our time. We'll show him how it's done. Come on, you old bat. Oh, she ain't giving in without a fight. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Yeah, get that. No, you're not keen. Oh, sorry. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Come on, go. Get out. Get out. Get in there, Char, and push her out. You have to get right in and push her out. Come on. No, get out, you stupid sheep. Come on, out you go. God, gosh, sheep are the most stupidest animals. Go on, off you go, you old bat.
Headlock.
Get him.
Tap out.
Get him. Get him.
I gotta get my safety proof jacket on first.
Get him. Let's fight. Come back for a fight.
Mom, wait till me and Dad do a fight, okay? Wait till me and Dad do a fight.
What was that?
Then,
Good, how are you? What was that, sorry? What, Sunny has diarrhea too.
Maybe they're fighting.
Seeing as I didn't get any footage of deer the other day, I figured I'd take Charlie out tonight. It's been pissing down all afternoon and it's just stopped raining, so it's a perfect night for a bit of a hunt. We're just going to sneak down the back of a mate's place and see if we can knock one over. We've got a pretty good vantage point here. All the deer tracks are coming onto the riverbeds here, in and out of the bush. This time of year there's a lot of clover in the riverbeds under the gorse, so we're just going to sit here and wait, and hopefully when I walk out, it's still about an hour of flight left, for a little bit early, so we'll just sit here and wait and see what happens. Yes, the waiting game. Safety off and shoot it right in the head if you can. Quick, shoot it. Too late. Too slow, bro. Bloody hell, we were too busy looking down the far end of the clearing. I just saw a movement out of the corner of my eye. Looked over and there was one about 20 metres away. By the time Charlie saw it was there, I said, there's one right there, and he just ignored me. I said, Charlie, there's a deer right there. And he grabbed the gun, really slowly moved around, and it walked away, stood there, gone. Balls. She started barking, so there's no use hanging around. We're just going to bugger off. So close. I can't believe it was just right there, 20 metres away. Snuck up right beside us. We're too busy focused on that far end of the clearing. Oh well, them's the brakes.
It was so annoying because Dad always
We
says...
just remembered a moment.
We did.
From when I was going to jump on this and I moved it away and I went...
No, he literally, he like left. I didn't know he was sleeping and I kicked him out and he just splattered like a pancake.
On the ground, did you?
Yeah.
Classic.
What was so annoying, Char?
Well,
We
Dad,
saw one and Charlie was too slow.
I'm telling him. Well, Dad always says, oh look, there's a deer there, oh there's a deer there, but it's not true. And then that time he was like, oh there's a deer there, and I was like, and I peeked over and it was like 20 metres. So I was like, and I turned the safety on, but it was zoomed in.
Yeah.
Because we thought the deer were going to be over there. And then, yeah, too slow. Went in.
Too slow, bro. Too slow. Bedtime. Straight to bed. It's blimmin' late. I hope you enjoyed that vlog. I'm just going to go through the questions and answers because I was running short on stuff to put in there and decided I'd do a Q&A. I'm just going to adjust that thing there a little bit so you can see me tutoing. Alright, I'm just going to roll from the top, I guess. I've got a knife and stone because someone asked about knife sharpening in there. Right, still a bit tired from late bed because mine and Charlie hunt kept us up late. Anyway, where was it? Okay, questions and answers. There's a whole heap of them here. I'm just going to roll through them. If you don't want to listen to me rambling on, now's the time to tune out. Okay, first one from Douglas Stacey. What brought you to Canada and what Canadian river was your favourite float? Well, what brought me to Canada? My dad was Canadian, so I've got Canadian citizenship, and it was a fairly easy country to get into as far as visas and all that went. So that was my first port of call when I went overseas, was Canada. And my favourite Canadian river to raft down was the Kicking Horse by far and away. That was the best river. It was great, started off nice and flat, went to medium level and ended up being big water grade 3-4. Or in the springtime we called it the Kicking Horse. And then middle of summer we called it the Frisky Pony, and then it turned into the Lame Donkey at the end of summer when the river was really low, because over in the northern hemisphere it's all fed by glacial runoff. There's a very small amount of rain that feeds those rivers, but the majority of it is glacial runoff. Hence the big water in the spring, low water at the end of summer. Also a bunch of other good runs in Canada. Toby Creek was probably my favourite kayak run, that was a really all-time favourite of mine. I didn't do a heck of a lot over there, but yeah, that would have to be a pretty good kayaking trip. Alright, there you go. So that's how I ended up in Canada. That's also where I met Kristen. She came rafting on the Kicking Horse River when I was working as a guide. Here we go. Can you do subtitles from Ben Brandwood? Can you do subtitles when the little guy's talking? I probably could. I don't realise, I forgot that, you know, parents understand what their kids are saying but other people don't because they're not used to listening to them. So I could probably do subtitles for Sonny. You might be able to turn the YouTube subtitles on, although they probably won't be able to understand them either. From Luke Duncan, what process goes into planning a fly and hunting trip? Well, she's pretty simple. I just plan what area I want to go to. Sometimes I'll ask around. I usually ask the heli pilots because I know heaps of the helicopter pilots, so I'll ask them where the animals are, and then I plan my trip around that usually, or other areas I've hunted. Sometimes I'll choose a new area. I'll just look at the topography. I'll look at satellite maps and see how much bush and basins there is and look at the elevation and all the rest of it. Then I'll just ring up the helicopter and say, can I book in a trip for this date please? And then a couple of days out I'll confirm that trip depending on what the weather's doing. Sometimes I'll just be flexible and I'll wait till we get a nice run of fine weather and then I'll book the helicopter and fly in. So pretty simple. That's the planning. Food, what I want to take with me, something nice and light, so I don't have to lug it around the hill. I eat a lot of jerky up there, a lot of couscous, some of those absolute wilderness meals. They're pretty bloody fantastic actually. I've got a bunch of backcountry. I'm just slowly working my way through those, but in my personal opinion I think absolute wilderness are far and above superior to the backcountry meals. They're just much tastier, I guess. They don't have that real thick case like the backcountry ones do, so yeah, that's what planning goes into it. Not a heck of a lot of planning. I just make sure that I've got a gun and a knife and an EPIRB and a raincoat and enough warm clothes, and depending on time of year I might take more or less clothing, and just basic fly camp. Usually I don't go overboard when I'm doing a Hellion trip, unless I'm tar hunting, then I go overboard. I bring the big canvas tent and all the rest of it. I hope that answers your questions. Not a heck of a lot of planning. Just throw it all together, call the helicopter, go hunting. I'd second the questions from Stephen Boswell. I can't actually see Stephen Boswell question, sorry, John Furlong. Timothy Allen, what rifles calibers do you hunt with? Okay, I hunt with mainly a 7mm Rem mag, just because if you hit the damn thing it's not going to go anywhere, and I've also got a 223. Those are my only two hunting guns. I own a shotgun, couple of shotguns, and if I had lots of money to spend on guns, I'd probably buy all sorts of guns. I'd probably get a 243, I'd probably get a 7mm 08 for the kids because that's a great caliber. I used to have a 270 for years. For years I just shot with a 303 open sights, and then I had to get sights scope put on it because the deer, due to hunting pressure, the deer were coming out later and going in earlier, and I couldn't see them in the low light with the open sights. So I hunted iron sight for years, and then eventually got a 270, just a crappy, I can't remember, Marlin, like a cheap Marlin 270, and that crapped out, so I had to get a, I got a Sarko 7mm Rem mag, and I've had that for a few years, and it's a bloody great caliber. It's great for tar, great for deer. It's not so good for meat hunting because it blows a whopping great hole in the animal, but if you just hit the animal it's not going to go anywhere. Whereas a 223, a 222, those smaller calibers, you know, they can go quite a long way, and if you hit them in the guts, you might not even find them again. Even if you hit them in the heart or the lungs, they can still go for miles before they fall over. There you go. So I don't have a great deal of guns. That's my gun rant. A bio on Weka from Tony Stewart. And Ben Walker, an update on Smitty's HQ. Well, Smitty's HQ is still sitting in the garage. He's slowly putting it together. I might go visit him on Wednesday, or he'll be working. I might poke my nose and see. He lives about an hour north of here, so he doesn't live in Ross anymore. That's why we don't hang out all the time. But he's just working his ass off at the moment. It's ridiculous. So Smitty's HQ has also been put on the back burner. I'll touch base with you actually when he starts to build it. A bio on Weka. Weka's from the North Island, from Hamilton Ways. He's a raft guide. I met him, when did I meet Weka? Probably 15-20 years ago, I guess, when he came to the coast and worked for the other rafting company, and then he threw the towel in with them and came and worked with me, which was bloody great. did heaps of missions together, kayaking missions. He's a keen hunter, keen fisherman. He's up north at the moment. He gets back in a couple of days. He's been up there for a month for Christmas, and so he gets back on deck in a couple of days. Yes. What can I tell you about Wick? Oh, he's got a family. He's got 3 kids and a wife and kids. Yep. River, Theo, and I've forgotten his other kid's name. I want to say Dolphin. I don't think it's Dolphin. How slack is that? I don't even know Wicker's kid's name. They're kids. They're all babies, and they're real small. I know River's name. All right. So next on the list, knife sharpening. Okay, knife sharpening, pretty simple. I prefer a water stone. I do have oil stones as well, but I prefer water stones. If it's a real knife that's in real bad condition like this one is, I'll use a really rough grit water stone. I'll soak it first. I'll get it nice and wet, soak it for an hour, and then I'll actually work one side, and then I'll work the other side, and then I'll go back to that side, and then I'll go back to that side, and I'll just keep grinding it until it's at 20 degrees or 25 degrees to the angle I want. I'll keep grinding it until I grind all the way down, and the 2 angles are meeting, so there's no shiny spot in the middle there. And then I'll get rid of the rough stone, and I'll go to a finer stone, and then I like to finish off with a 2000 grit, or I think it's 2000 grit, something really fine anyway. When I finish stoning it, then I'll strop it. And the strop, I actually keep my strop hanging up on the porch. It's just a leather strap. Can you see from there? Oh, I think you can see it. You can see it from there. So a strop, I'll just strop it 20 odd times. Oi! No barking. And then it's good to go. And if you stone it and then strop it, what it does, stoning puts lots of little microscopic serrations on it, and the stropping makes a chrome edge, and it rolls the edge over a little bit, and it will stay sharper for longer, which doesn't really make sense. When you strop it, it rolls the edge instead of keeping it pointy, but it's a very microscopic rolled edge. YouTube or Google that stuff. I don't really have time to do it in this Q&A. It's a pretty complex thing, knife sharpening, but basically I like to sharpen just one way and then turn the knife over, go the other way, unless, like I said, I'm trying to bring a really dull knife back to life. Then I'll just go backwards and forwards, and just give it arseholes pretty much, and then turn it on the other side and give it arseholes on that side. Some people like to go circular motion. I don't like to go circular motion because then it puts the serrations all different which ways. If you just go one way, like so, and then like so, all the serrations are going to be going one way. And when I talk about serrations, it's just microscopic lines in the knife caused by the grit on the stone. Just one way, like so. At about 20 degrees or 25 degrees, 20 to 25 degrees is the angle you're looking for. You can actually buy a kit called a Lansky knife sharpening kit where it sets it all for you, but I don't know, I much prefer to do it freehand. It just feels better. Okay, that's my knife sharpening vid, pretty simple. I will take a steel with me in my sheath, and then on the hill I'll use the steel if I can't strop it or if it goes quite dull, and then when I get home I'll re-stone it and then re-strop it. And it depends on what kind of steel you have as well. And if you sharpen your knife properly with a good high carbon steel, it'll stay sharp for a long time, and you should be able to butcher a deer without having to tickle it up again. Okay, there we go. Can you buy the editing software, or is it the monthly payment option only? I think with Premiere it's the monthly payment option only. Premiere is on PC and Mac. Final Cut Pro is Mac only. With Final Cut Pro you can buy the editing software as a one-off. There you go. Where's all the rest of the questions? Oh, there we go. Load more comments. How much do you charge for a rod and rifle raft mission? How about a tar chamois mission? What's happening with the podcast thing? What's happening with Discovery Channel? Do you actually have a pair of chamois skin undies? No, I don't have a pair of chamois skin undies. What's happening with Discovery Channel? I'm under contract still with Discovery, and we're just trying to get ideas across the line. A couple of ideas have gone right up to the top, and then they've got pitched out by the guy at the top. The guy at the top says, no, I don't like it, it's not going to happen, and it just gets thrown out. I've got a Skype meeting with them on the 24th. Yes, in a couple of days. What's that, another week or something? I've got a Skype meeting with the executives at Discovery, trying to get some more ideas across the line. One's a father-son team building idea, and the other one's a survival stitch-up idea. I can't really go into it too much. I'm not supposed to say anything, so That's what's happening with the Discovery. Something might come along, something may not come along, and if it doesn't, I'm happy to keep rolling, making videos for you guys. That's awesome. And even if I do get a Discovery contract, I'm going to keep doing these Patreon videos. I'm going to drag you around the world with me on different adventures if I go around the world, or I just keep the regular vlogs going here in New Zealand. What's happening with the podcasting? Well, I've recorded a couple of podcasts. I haven't really put them out there because I don't know if anyone will like them. Maybe I'll test them on you guys. You guys can be my podcast testers and see if you like them. It's just me rattling on about shit, really. I'm giving you guys my opinion on stuff. I really need someone else to podcast with. Yeah, I don't actually listen to podcasts, so I don't really know how podcasts work. So I don't know what other people do for podcasts. Is it just people yarning and talking about different stuff? Maybe I should start listening to a couple. Ballpark figure do I charge? Okay, how much do I charge for a rod and rifle raft mission? Well, they start at $550 per person for an overnight drive and raft trip, and then they go to $650 to $750 for a Hellion overnight, and then $950 for a 2-day or 3-day 2-night, so on and so forth. So that's basically what we charge. That's where the ballpark figure starts, and minimum of 4 people for those raft trips. But send us an email if you want to go rod and rifle rafting. Email ecorafting@gmail.com and we can give you some quotes. Alright, hairiest moments in the mountains. The one you don't share with the wife. Oh, lots of hairiest moments in the mountains. Usually it involves climbing and climbing up steep stuff and trying to climb up through bluffs and not being able to climb back down and having to keep climbing up because it's so steep, can't climb back down. So I try not to do that anymore. I've had quite a few hairy moments. It's this one time at band camp. I'm not going to go through them all. Because it might take a while. The hairiest moment was probably when I was with Smitty. Actually, there's a video on it, one of the tarting videos with Smitty, and we climbed up a real steep face, and we stopped halfway up, and there was a little tar nest where nanny tar had made her bed. That was probably the hairiest moment because it was hard and icy. We only had 1 ice axe each. We didn't have mountaineering boots, and it was very steep, very exposed, and very dangerous. That was probably my hairiest moment. Yeah. There we go, you can watch that. It doesn't look very hairy in the video, but it was feckin' hairy, let me tell you. Okay, show us your veggie garden. I just did show us your veggie garden. Hopefully you fellas saw it. How about adventures with the family? Kristen doesn't like going on adventures. I try to drag her out and she just isn't into it. I try to get her out camping. She just won't go. She refuses to go camping. Something always comes up. There's always some excuse. Oh, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. I can't just drag her and chuck her in the truck and take her camping, screaming and kicking, because she'll never forgive me for it. So, adventures with the boys. There we go. Have you ever heard of anyone rafting the length of the Clutha River from Dylan Higgins? No, I haven't. No, I haven't heard of anyone rafting the length of the Clutha. Scott Wilson, 7mm 08 or 308. I can't decide. How's the arm? Arm's sweet, Scott. Healed up pretty much overnight. I don't know, 7mm 08, what a great all-round calibre. I think 308's probably got a bit more knockdown to it and a little bit better for longer shots. Yeah, I don't know, whatever tickles your fancy, I guess. If you can handle the kick, I'd go 308. Just got a little bit more punch to it, I think. I don't know, what do you guys reckon, 7mm 08 or 308? I reckon 7mm 08's a bit of a girly gun. That's just my personal opinion though. Don't listen to me and don't let my opinion on shit affect your guys' decisions. You make your own call. My favourite meal to make at home. Spaghetti bolognese. Easy. That one's a hands down recipe. I'll give you the ingredients. Ingredients are bay leaves, oregano, basil, a bit of rosemary, a little bit of sugar or honey, cider vinegar, red wine vinegar, olive oil, splash of balsamic vinegar, a little bit of mustard, and I'll start off by browning the meat, the minced meat, and cooking that with rosemary, and then I'll put the onions in, or onions and garlic, celery, spring onions or chives, and tomatoes. You can use canned tomatoes or fresh tomatoes, and I'll just pretty much chuck that all in, cook it up. I like to cook the onions with the sugar and then add the vinegar, add the cider vinegar, and then put the red wine vinegar in at the end. That's my favourite meal anyway. My favourite recipe, I love it. Pasta. I know it's not good for you, but it's not good for me anyway. It makes me fart and makes me sleepy, but I love it so much. It's so bloody good. And then I like garlic bread with that, and those ciabatta rolls, slice them really thin. You know those ciabatta rolls you buy from the supermarket? Slice them thin, toast them. Ah, so good. Oh, this is a lot of questions. Do we have more? I think we have more. Load more comments. Does a motor warm up quicker under load or at high revs? That's a good question. Does a motor warm up quicker under load or at high revs?
This is my machine.
I don't actually know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Under load at high revs? Possibly, which is not very good for it. It's also not very good to warm a motor up using high revs or putting it under load, I don't believe. But does it warm up quicker? I'm going to have to say high revs. I think if you revved a motor hot, it would warm up quicker than putting it under load. Mind you, under load, would there be more friction? Geez, it's a hard one. I don't know. Does anyone know the answer to that? Comment below. Do trees die of old age? Yes, they do. Daniel Durbin, that's some good questions. My mask keeps fogging up. Is my face too hot? Your face might be too hot, or the water might be too cold, or you haven't spat in your mask first. Give it a spit first and rub it around. Toothpaste also helps. Toothpaste to remove silicone when you buy the mask. And then toothpaste and spit. And you can actually buy anti-fog stuff for cameras. That works really good too. I don't know if your face is too hot, the water's too cold. I don't know. I get that problem occasionally too. You know, sometimes the water temperature and your body temperature is just right at that foggy level. I find some days I don't have problems, other days it's a pain in the ass. I hear you. I feel your pain. Another one from Daniel Durbin. Plastic or steel power getter off thingy? I'm going to say plastic because it's probably less offensive to the power. Every time you nick a power, it bleeds to death because the haemophiliacs. I'm going to say plastic. Plastic power getter off thingy. Or just your fingers, man. I just flick them off my hands usually. You get real quick and just flick, 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 flick. You're quick and fast, you can just, yeah, roll them off with your fingers. Don't even have to use a power getter off thingy. But if you cock it up, then you need to use one. Oh, holy crap. Stephen Boswell. What's in your pack when you go out? Do you bother with freeze dry? What's a bomb-proof tent? How do you plan a hunting trip? Navigation, valleys to hit up. Well, valleys to hit up, a lot of that's just trial and error. Where have they 1080'd? What are the good genetics if I'm hunting for a good stag? If it's tar or chamois, I'll do a bit of research. Sometimes I'll just take a punt and head up a valley. A lot of good hunting spots I've found just by taking a punt. So you've just got to put the time in, fellas. That's all I can tell you. Put the time in, and then you'll find good spots. You'll find bad spots. What's in my pack when I go out? A raincoat. Depending on how far I'm going, I may take a fly in a bivvy bag. If it's just a really quick day hunt, I'll just put a raincoat in. I'll put a hat. If it's winter, I'll put gloves as well, and another spare pair of socks. Just in case I injure myself and have to hunker down, I might put a small fly sheet in as well. Some basic food, knife, just really basic, guys. Fire lighting kit, always take a real good fire lighting kit with lots of rubber or fire lighters, just in case you get stuck and need to make a fire to warm yourself up. That's in my pack. It varies really. So bare essentials, I guess: a fire lighter, EPIRB, knife, food, shelter, compass, and don't always take a map. Depending if I'm hunting a new area, if it's a bushy area and I might get lost. If it's a bushy, flat bush area and I might get lost, I always take compass, and usually a map and compass. But these days with phones and maps on phones, I don't often take maps anymore. Usually I just rely on my phone or my Garmin, the Lawn GPS thing, to get me out of the shit or to navigate. What's a bomb-proof tent? Holy crap. I've got a Hilleberg. Hilleberg make pretty bomb-proof tents. I haven't tried Stony Creek's tent. I know they're making tents now. I don't know if they're bomb-proof or not. Hilleberg. I use a Hilleberg, man. You can't go wrong with the Hilleberg. I quite often just use a fly. I've actually got a 3FUL tent from AliExpress that's been pretty good. I've been using that for 2 years now. Yeah, that's really good actually. I'm quite happy with that. It was only 120 bucks. Bomb-proof, although up in the storm in the mountain, I don't know if I'd rely on it for alpine hunting. MSR make really good tents. MSR, Qiu make a really good tent. Bomb-proof. Bomb-proof, actually. If I was going to say go one tent over all the rest, I'd probably go Qiu from what I've seen anyway. Their tents look real bomb-proof. I've never used one, but Bryce has got one. I had a look over it. It looks extremely strong, extremely well made, and apparently it can handle the jandal. What's your favourite weather forecast site? Well, I do a whole lot. Windy TY is the best for wind. I think yr.no is the best for precipitation. MetVue's pretty good. I'm quite looking at that as well. Venture Sky is also really good. I use buoy weather and marine weather and swell map for the ocean forecast. And there's also a site called sunrockice.com. I think it's sunrockice.com or sunrockice.co.nz. But I'll go to Sunrock Ice, and that's got links to a lot of the military forecasting sites as well. Sunrock Ice is really good. It's got links to heaps of different weather sites. It's a fantastic site to go on. There you go. Met Service, I occasionally use that, but not very often. I look at it, and I look at all the different sites. So when I make a call, whether or not to head into the mountain or whether a raft trip's going to go or not because of rain coming in, I'll look at yr.no, I'll look at Windy TY, I'll look at Venture Sky, I'll look at MetVue, I'll look at Met Service, and that's about it. I just use those basic ones, and if they're all conflicting, then I might go on to Sunrock Ice and make my own, forecast my own site up depending on the isobaric maps. Alright, there we go. What editing software do you use to make these videos? Final Cut Pro X, mate. That's what I use. Mike Barniston, that was from Stephen Spencer. Mike Barniston, how long before you think, shit, this might have been a mistake? I quite often like to have a plan B if it's a risky manoeuvre. Have a plan B, and then if plan A isn't working and I think, shit, this might have been a mistake, know when to call it, know when to say, right, this is a mistake, let's stop here, let's put the brakes on, let's think. So STOP, stop, think, observe, plan. Stop. That's a really good thing to do if you get yourself in the shit. Stop, think, observe, plan. And just take time to think yourself out of the shit pretty much. Relax. Think slowly, think logically, come up with a plan, come up with another plan, and be prepared to change plans halfway through. Be flexible. Yeah, so you guys all know when to call it over the years. It's a learning curve. Yes. Cody Armishaw, hopefully I'm not too greedy with questions. What made you go out on your own and do the YouTube thing? Well, we were looking at going bankrupt just before I started this Kiwi Bushman brand. There was a lot of stress, owed people money, looking at losing their house and the business, didn't really want to go bankrupt, so that's really noisy. I'm just going to close that house door because it's noisy. Holy crap, this is dragging on. Are you guys still hanging in there? I wonder how many people have just skipped through or signed off. Probably all of you. I'm probably talking to myself. Okay, here we are. What made you go out on your own and do the YouTube thing? Well, I was looking at going bankrupt, like I said. Me and Kristen were arguing. There was a lot of stress, a lot of relationship stress, financial stress. And I just said, hey, what are we stressing about? We can go bankrupt. We can go back to having nothing. We can get rid of all of our stuff, lose the house, get rid of the business, sell everything, try to pay everyone back, and then we can go on the dole. The government will give us money for crying out loud. We can just move to the far north and catch snapper all day. It'd be awesome. And so we looked at each other and said, hey, that's gold. Okay, so we sat down, we wrote all of the options down. Okay, what can we do to get ourselves out of the shit? What are our options from here on in? What can I do for a job? What do I want to do for a job? And there was heaps of different options. Working in the mines, going to Australia, working in the mines, going bankrupt, going back to Canada, living over there, going to South Central America or maybe Africa or some other place I haven't been before, maybe going to Fiji or the islands or Rarotonga. There was heaps of different options, and I like the get my own hunting and fishing television show. That seemed like a pretty good option to me, so I thought, hey, I'll go down that track. And then once I had the plan and I could see that plan was achievable, I'd written the goal down, I'd broken it down in little steps. I thought, right, first thing to do is to make a video so people can see it and the television networks can see it. And so I was thinking about that, and while this is all going on, I made that Possum Whisperer video. That wasn't the video I planned to make to show the TV networks. I just happened to make it because I thought, well, I'm going to start doing this for a job, so I need to get a camera. And then I thought I'll take it possum trapping with me and I'll make a wee possum trapping video. And I did, and heaps of people said, that's really good, you've got a knack for this. So I said, hey, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to come up with a brand. took me a while to figure out a brand name, and then I did the Kiwi Bushman. I wish I'd had a different brand, but it's there now. The Kiwi Bushman is there. That's the brand. I might just change it to Kiwi Bushman, not the Kiwi Bushman, because I sound like a bit of an idiot. I'm the Kiwi Bushman, but there's heaps of Kiwi Bushmen. There's probably hundreds of thousands of Kiwi Bushmen out there. I'm not the only one. There's heaps of them. So I'll change it to Kiwi Bushman. Yeah, I was keeping to do that. So anyway, come up with a brand, got the ball rolling, started a YouTube channel, Facebook page. I did it for free for 3 years, and picked up a clothing sponsor, which was great, Stony Creek. They give me a few clothes. Got a boat sponsor, which was awesome. Thank you, DNA Boats and Honda Marine. And I still wasn't paying the bills though, so that's why I started this Patreon account, because I was working my ass off, not making any money, still going backwards, still owed a lot of people money. Thank goodness our main creditor, James Scott, he said just pay us back when you can. So a couple of years took me to pay James Scott back, but I'm all flush now, thank God. So thanks, James, you're a legend. Yeah, and everything's going rosy now. Still owe the bank heaps of money, still business mortgage and business loan, house mortgage and all the rest of it, but it's managing itself now. The debt is managing itself. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into this YouTube caper. Now it's taking up hours and hours every day with everything else involved, all the emails and the updates of the social media sites, but it's good. It's a good way to make a living. Do you have any pointers for someone just starting a YouTube channel? Learn how to make good videos. So many people start a YouTube video channel and they make boring videos. They're boring. You've got to make interesting videos. This isn't interesting at all because I've been talking for bloody half an hour, but yeah, watch other videos, critique them, figure out what makes them interesting to you, and then model your productions off their productions. Try to get good audio, get good shots, learn how to take a good photo, take good video, keep the video smooth. There's all these different things that make a successful YouTube channel, and I guess when it comes down to it, a lot of it is just luck of the draw too. I've been extremely lucky. I think I got in there before all the hundreds and thousands of other people started making hunting and fishing videos, so I got a bit of a jump on the competition, so to speak. Share your videos. If you have a good video, share it on hunting forums. The Fish and Hunt forum, I shared some of my videos on that back in the day. Asked other people to share them. Yeah, just if you make good videos, the people are going to watch them, basically. If you could hunt with one caliber for the rest of your time, what would you choose? 7mm rim mag, 270 Wisdom. I don't know, 270 is pretty good. 308, 7mm 08. I don't have any one, as long as I had a gun that shot long distances and had good knockdown power, I'd be happy. Yeah. Thanks very much for your awesome videos, Josh. Oh, cheers, Cody. Good work. Right, I think that's it. I think I've answered all the questions. Holy shit, there we go. That was long and drawn out. So if you want to hear more questions next week at the end of the video, just comment below this video and I might do another Q&A. Maybe. I think I got hay fever. I'm getting a cold, one or the other. My eyes are all sniffly, and hopefully I'm not getting a cold. It's the middle of bloody summer. It's been a pretty exhausting week. I tell you what, staying up late at night and hunting and getting up early in the morning and going hunting again really takes it out of you. It's feckin' hard not having any sleep. I might go have a nap. Yes, I'm going to edit this video, then I'm going to go have a little nap because I'm exhausted. Have a good week. Catch you next week. Bye. Be awesome.